I wanted to show you something else that I did with AI this morning. I blew away my Uber driver.
It was perfect. It was cute.
It was cute. Yeah, let me show you what that is. On my screen, and I asked ChatGPT. ChatGPT came up with this cutesy 5-page book. I then took what ChatGPT gave me and I brought it over to Gemini. It made a whole new story, which I gave it to the cab driver to then send off to his family. And we made this in 5 minutes. I am here in San Diego. It is Growth Hacking Live the next 3 days. I wanted to show you something else that I did with AI this morning, and I blew away my Uber driver. So I'm driving in a car this morning with an Uber driver. I was in Vegas for an optical convention, and a big part of I spent 33 years working in the optical industry, and I work with a lot of companies in the optical industry and doctors and help them rebuild websites and do social media and strategy around their marketing. And I was there at the optical convention, and I was getting ready to fly from Vegas here to San Diego, and I'm gonna be at a marketing conference the next 3 days. I'm in the cab this morning, very early, like 6 a.m. in the morning. In the cab ride, I'm chit-chatting. Lovely guy. I eventually ended up asking him where he originally was from. He was telling me a lot about his family, where he was from. He told me he was Florida. And then for some reason, he asked me where I was from, and I'm originally a New Yorker, and I grew up in upstate New York. And he's like, but you don't have an accent. And I was like, I worked very hard to get rid of my upstate New York, which I called my ignorant accent, because we kind of drolled things together a lot. He has family in Baltimore, and so we started talking about that, and he was like, yeah, this Baltimore accent, it's like do is in like D-E-W instead of D-O, and two, and he started saying it, and I was like, you know what, it sounds like a Dr. Seuss. And he had asked me what I do, and I told him I have a marketing agency and I do a lot in the AI space. And he was curious kind of about AI, and so seriously, I went into ChatGPT, which you can see on my screen, and I asked ChatGPT, hey, so in Baltimore, they say some kind of funny accent, and I don't really understand the Baltimore accent. And so I just told ChatGPT, and ChatGPT knew the Baltimore accent. So it made me think of Dr. Seuss. So I want to write a really quick little Dr. Seuss book. And this is how they talk. So it's the to you do who. So we can come up with some kind of cutesy book for maybe like an 8-year-old, Dr. Seuss-like, making fun of Baltimore accents. ChatGPT came up with this cutesy little 5-page book. I then took what ChatGPT gave me and I brought it over to Gemini. And Gemini, inside the Gemini suite, and I have a Gemini Ultra plan, but they have a Pro plan and they have a free plan and they have different plans. I don't know where Storybook shows up on the plans, but they launched Storybook about a month or so ago. I took what ChatGPT gave me and brought it over to Storytime or Storybook inside Gemini. So if you're looking for Storybook, you're going to go to Gemini, and it's in the Gems section, and activate a Storybook. And I then asked it to make a story based on this rhyme that I had, or little storybook. The first iteration of it actually gave me something that wasn't the story that ChatGPT had come up with. And it was very much, it looked very Dr. Seuss-like, so you see it here. So the visuals are very Dr. Seuss-like, but it changed the actual story itself. So in the land of Bali 2, where lollipops grew like trees and ground was a bouncy trampoline, lived a little creature named Bippity Bop. So it made a whole new story, which was nothing about the accents. So cute little story, definitely younger because Gemini, I didn't prompt it to be like an 8-year-old. So I then went back in and said, I've created a storybook for readers of all ages about this critter named Biddity Bop. I asked it instead, can you please do the book keeping my story the same? And then I gave it again. And then on this iteration, so here's the iteration, and then what's really cute is inside Storybooks, listening.
Bippity Bop and Balti 2. In the middle of Maryland, not far from the zoo, lives a sprightly young critter named Bippity Bop 2. He skipped through the row houses, sky-painted blue, but everyone spoke in a Balti 2 hue. Hey 2, how do you do? Sang Miss Lou. Come to the stoop, bring a whoopie pie too. Will do, said Bop, with a wiggle and shoo. That do, too, you, and who. Oh, what of you?
What have you?
They zipped down the harbor where the sailboats all blew, past the Orioles Stadium and the smell of crab stew. Every word on the breeze had that twisty Balti ooh. Shoo the gulls, scoot the loot, woot for the crew. Chewy and gooey, like marshmallow glue. When I say to, it's chew. When I say do, it's do. Even you becomes you. Who knew? Soon the whole city, cat, dog, and shrew, was chanting and rhyming in Balti 2. To the zoo with the crew, bring the blue kazoo. Who knew a vowel could be this whoop-hoo? And when bedtime came under starry night dew, Bippity Bop whispered softly, Balti 2, I love you. For in this bright city of do, to, and who, every word's an adventure, and that's perfectly true, or should we say true?
So super cute. Now I do a lot of AI imagery. I might want to change some of the, Gemini did all of the images, completely created this book. So I might want to change some of the images in here. There's ways to do that, but how amazing to be able to make a storybook, to be able to tell Gemini, this is the story that I want to tell. You can use Gemini, or as I did, ChatGPT, to actually give you the full story. If you don't want to create the full story that way, you could have Gemini do it, and I think it'll just, you can give it a topic and it'll make a book for you. Pretty amazing, cutesy little tool. So I gave it to the cab driver to then send off to his family, and we made this in 5 minutes. Amazing, super cute. Just another little way you can use AI.